everybody, and welcome back to another DC review. So I am just joined by
Jonah.
And today we're here to talk about Black Adam. So real quick, if you have not seen the movie yet,
and there will be spoilers. There's
yes,
a pretty big spoiler that we'll talk about later.
Spoiler warning right here. So
let's start with that because I don't have a ton. I have a couple, but I don't have a ton.
Okay.
I want to start because I think there's an overwhelming amount of good, but there are parts that are
there are parts
great.
There are parts that are amazing, but there are parts that I do not like. And I'm getting the big thing out of the way now. I don't like this kid.
Okay, the kid is fine, but everyone's making fun of him. So it's a collective, hey, we all hate this kid, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Move on.
Now, I don't mind.
He's not in a ton of the movie. When at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be the main character. No. He wasn't the main character, he wasn't in a lot.
That's another thing, like kind of also tying into that. And I don't hate this, and I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just wish some superhero movies would maybe not do this and focus it solely on the hero or like the title character, not so much on these random human characters. Because you get scenes like that final battle with all the dead people.
That was the skeletons. They could have been taken out, and it would have been absolutely fine. It was kind of cool how like all of Condoc's like, hey, let's fight them, but you don't see them fighting them except for like one
and post
shot.
another Zack Snyder where it keeps doing random slow motion shots when they hit one of them. I'm like,
no, but I think this movie does focus a lot on Black Adam, but there are some. I
just honestly would have been okay.
The only human I'm okay with them focusing on is the brother. He's cool. I like him. I don't know his name. Ishmael's the bad one.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. He gets shot. Yeah.
And then Dr. Fate says, "Don't worry, this is how you die. Just stay away from
I die by electricity."
But I love his first realization of that, which is like, what? But I'm an electrician. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the kid's the only one that I really have a big problem with. And it's not that I hate how he's written. I actually don't mind how he's written because I like how he's a nerd. He's a nerd. He admires superheroes a lot, and he's so excited by the fact that they finally have somebody to stick up for them. My problem is the actor. It's not the worst. It's definitely not the worst. But my goodness, it's not good. Especially, now, some parts, he's actually fine. He's fine. But that, specifically the scene where he's trying to give a rally speech, I'm like, he doesn't sound like he's yelling.
Towards the end?
Towards the end. He doesn't sound like he's yelling. And I think that was the moment where I went, yeah, he's not a good actor.
He's not as bad as Jake Lloyd, but he's not great.
He's not like Jake Lloyd or like young Boba Fett levels, but
I'll forgive him because he's not in as much of it as I remember him being. Because I watched the movie and then I've got in there during shifts like all the time.
I watched it twice. I watched it the day before it came out, and then that Saturday night I took Luke to see it.
But he's not in as much of it as he could have been, and I think that's good.
It's fine.
He could have been in a lot more of it, definitely.
If he were in a lot more of it, it would really hinder my enjoyment.
The other human characters I don't hate, like the mom is cool. The mom is cool.
There's one.
She doesn't care who you are. She'll talk you down.
Yeah, because when the Justice Society come in and she's kind of smack talking him.
Dude, she smack talks Hawkman.
At first you're like, bro, why are you smack talking him? Like you have nothing on him. But then you look at that, but you also look at it from her perspective.
Yeah, they just look like invaders.
They look like invaders. They finally have somebody sticking up for them, and here come these other heroes essentially trying to take it away from them.
Yeah. No.
So it makes sense why she does act that way. But the mom is okay, brother's great, kid don't like, so it's like a spectrum.
What else bad to it? The villain isn't amazing, but he's not like awful.
No, he's fine. I first saw him in the trailer when he's like his demon form. I could have swore he was Trigon.
Yeah, it's because that's what he looks like.
Yeah, I could have swore that was him.
I thought they were gonna like say that it was like he was like sent by Trigon or something. They didn't do that. I thought that's what was gonna happen, but like
that would have improved.
So he's like it's a whole demonic thing. It's not bad. It's just not as good as like.
It's just It's the same level as like Caecilius.
Okay.
I think where it's kind of like not a bad villain, but not the most interesting.
And he's another one of those types. He's like just an evil version of the protagonist. Because, like, he has red lightning.
Yeah.
He has the same powers, except he's not Dwayne Johnson, so he loses.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I will say this: Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam.
This is one of, if not his best performance he's ever had.
Yeah.
He has a lot of movies, but okay, here's my thing coming into this movie. Okay, so to preface before we get into the good, this was my most anticipated movie since Endgame. More anticipated than Doctor Strange. More anticipated than Black Panther, which, holy crap.
Which comes out next week as of recording this.
Yeah, and so
more anticipated than No Way Home?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a DC nut. My dad has that door back there. There's loads and loads and loads of comics from when my dad was a kid, and that's what I grew up reading. So I love DC, and so I loved Shazam and Black Adam, particularly because they're sick.
When we get to that Shazam movie, I'm gonna praise that movie
because they're awesome.
Yeah, and that movie is fantastic.
But coming to this movie, my one thing that I did not want to see was Dwayne Johnson playing the same character he always plays in every single movie, which is himself. Yeah. And that works in most of the movies he's in. Jumanji, it works.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it works in Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw, it works. It's he plays himself. It works in a lot of movies he's in. In this, it would not have worked, and he did not play himself. No, he cracks maybe one joke the entire movie.
He's trying to crack jokes.
He smiles twice.
He makes a couple of jokes here and there,
and it's because the little idiot tells him to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him the Man in Black sent you, which is really cool because he says that in the comics.
Because he tries to do that
after he's already thrown the guy or something like that.
Yeah, he tries to after he's electrocuted some of them and then.
Yes, they're already dead. Yeah.
But when he does do it at the very end, it's it's awesome. But yeah, they set up Black Adam as a character so well because they gave him such an interesting backstory of he was not the chosen champion. It was his son.
I watched it with my dad, and I tried not to say anything because I already knew that was coming because that's the story. And if you look in that flashback where it shows the kid, you think the kid's Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. If you look at his dad, you can see that it's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
His dad, from the side, it is clearly Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But you're looking at it and you're like, oh, it's just because it's his
And
dad.
the voice is even pretty similar.
And the voice is very similar.
So when he had that beginning flashback and it showed where you thought it was the kid, I was like, wait, hold on a minute. I thought, okay. Mm-hmm. And then the twist at the end, I was like,
it's good. I tried not to let my dad in on it, and my dad goes, that was interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, his story is just so interesting. Where if he lets his anger get the best of him, he causes a lot of damage. That's another thing I probably wish could have been. I was kind of iffy on was how the mother was like, really, how do you know? And Hawkman just says, well, we have these documents that said his rage destroyed Convict. And she's like, oh, okay.
He almost killed your kid too.
Yeah, that was.
He almost kills the kid at one point.
That was kind of the final nail in the coffin of he's going to see give himself up.
Yeah, when he tries to block the bullet, he zaps him the arm or something like that. I don't know. He zaps him somewhere.
And this is something that comic blew off guard. Both of his suits, the second one caught me more off guard because I didn't expect to see it. But his second suit with the gold accents, I love all the gold accents. I love it. But the hood, the tattered cape and the hood on the first one is just. I wish he kept that a little more.
I wish he kept that. Give me a balance between a little bit I love the gold accents. Give me the gold accent here and
on the belt
and the belt and maybe the wrist things, and then give me the cape. Yeah. Perfect. They give him the cape, but they don't give him the hood. Yeah. Which come on, man.
Yeah.
So he looks he just looks like any other superhero, but
he looks more like Black Adam in sort of in Injustice too. Because he has a cape in that game.
And then there's versions of Black Adam in that game where he has the hood.
Yeah. But both of the costumes he has. The darker one at the beginning is really good. And then when he gets the one with the gold highlights at the end, it looks so cool.
Yeah, it's his costume is symbolic of himself. At the beginning, it's super dark. You can only see a tiny bit of gold in the very middle.
And it'll occasionally grow. It'll occasionally light up a little more.
It occasionally glows based on if he's using his power down. At the very end, it's all gold wrist things, gold boots.
Yeah,
Justice Society.
The entire Justice Society
is good. The most forgettable one is what's her name?
Cyclone. Yeah,
she's good still.
She's good.
She's the most forgettable of them, and that's not saying anything about her. It's saying everything about them.
Yeah, it's saying the others are.
Hawkman is fantastic.
He incredible.
Pierce Brosnan is amazing as Dr. Fate. He makes this entire movie, honestly, to me.
Yeah, it's so funny seeing the dynamic between him and Black Adam throughout the entire movie.
Because
he's
just
them constantly fighting.
A good actor.
He's a great actor.
Both.
I was about to say, you want to talk about good actors?
What's the guy that plays Hawkman's name?
Oh.
Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
Don't know, but Pierce Brosnan is an A-list actor. He's a fantastic actor.
You want to talk about good acting? Dr. Fate is probably the standout of
He's
this
the best
movie.
part of this movie besides just Black Adam.
Yeah.
But he's the standout of this movie, and he does die. But the thing is,
which is sad.
It's Dr. Fate.
Apparently, there was a deleted post-credit scene where you see the helmet on the ground. You see somebody like a hand going to pick it up, and then it cuts to black.
It chooses who wears it, so it'll find a new host. So there will be another Dr. Fate. But he's been Dr. Fate for he said 100 years.
Yeah, because the movie is the version in this movie is the original Dr. Fate from the comics.
Yes, and so he said he's been Dr. Fate for at least 100. He says 100 years at one point, so he ages weird.
Yeah, he ages quite slowly. Atom Smasher is my favorite.
He's always eating.
He's so funny.
He's always eating.
Because I went into this movie not expecting a whole lot. I heard...
Him and his mask looks too much like Deadpool for me. The way his mask animates, it looks a lot like Deadpool.
Even with how the eyes look. You can see
yes,
some
that's what
shapes,
I'm saying.
You can see some shapes around it, yeah. That's one thing. It's more about, the costume.
His whole character thing is, it takes a lot... He says it takes a lot of energy to grow. So, literally, every single time you see him, he's eating.
It's very much like The Flash.
Yes. Chips. He has the freaking bucket of wings at one point, which I think is kind of stupid, but it's funny.
It's for a split second, because
It's for a split second, then Dr. Fate...
They're going to negotiate with Black Adam, and then Dr. Fate just kind of...
That was my... If he had that while he was talking to Black Adam, I would have been like, dude, get out of here.
So he got rid of it quickly, so it's okay.
Dr. Fate's costume is one of the sickest things I've ever seen in my entire life. The helmet is... The helmet in the comics is just a plane with eye cutouts. This thing, it's... What's the word? Asymmetrical. It's asymmetrical. It's smooth on one side and it's jagged on the other. It's so cool.
Yeah, because I remember first seeing it and I wasn't sure how I would feel about the no eyes part in it, but...
And then
Hawkman uses
the eyes glow at the very end.
Yeah, and you see the eyes glow.
Which is almost to say it's possessed.
Yeah.
By former inhabitants or it's weird. It's a very weird helmet, but it's really sick looking.
It kind of sums up Doctor Strange.
Basically.
I mean, yeah.
He's DC Doctor Strange. That's what he is. Their powers are very similar.
Yeah. That's one thing I would definitely say I'd recommend for anybody who goes into this movie. Don't go into this movie expecting it to be a big, bonkers, crazy story movie. You go into this movie and you expect
Black Adam.
You go into this movie and you expect exactly how it's been advertised. Just a fun, action-packed superhero movie to just sit back and enjoy.
That's what I said to everyone about this movie, is that it's not the best movie I've ever seen. Okay, I would compare it to an Age of Ultron kind of thing. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it is hands down one of the most fun movies I've ever watched.
Yeah. Because
he's just so stupid overpowered.
I'm trying to think of a comparison I would make to it.
I would say how I feel about it. I don't like it as much of Age of Ultron. It's close, but I would compare it to Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's a very valid comparison. But that's just one thing. It's this movie it doesn't have that much of a story. It's just setting up some future characters here and there, setting up Black Adam.
And cementing the fact that DC's turned around. Their past 3 movies have been good. Can I say my number one thing that I like about this movie?
Go ahead.
This is the best music I've ever heard in a movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, okay. I think this is the best music of most super... Okay, I'm not going to say the best. This is one of the best, soundtracks I've ever heard of any superhero movie, or just any movie. Mm-hmm. If I showed you my Spotify playlist right now, there's 3 songs from this movie. It's when I have my other number one thing that I like about this movie is his theme song that plays a lot, and I love it.
So good. When it plays during the credits too.
And then his song when he awakens the first time, which is a slowed down version of it, and then the song Exile from the credits.
Yeah.
Which Dwayne Johnson hard promotes. He loves the song. It's really good.
Yeah,
this music is, oh my god.
If you have one more thing before
the first scene that Black Adam's in.
Where he kills all the guys in the
Awakening.
cave?
The song for it's called The Awakening, and it is just this, like, it's menacing, but also, like, heroic at the same time.
Yeah.
Because the first time you see him, they do this whole gag where, like, hey, the boss says you gotta go get him. And so they walk up to him, and he melts the guy's face off.
I know.
Immediately.
And not just his face off, burns his everything
and his skeleton rolls to the floor, and then everyone's, like, looking up and goes...
They just shoot at him, and then he catches
the bullet and says, your magic is weak. He says your magic is weak, and he says it in, what? I guess it's a made-up language. It's not Egyptian. It's like Kandakian or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
And proceeds to... And then slowly, like, floats into the air, and you're like, oh. People are about to die.
Speaking of slow down, later on in that, when you get a straight up...
Painted black. Oh my gosh, yes. Painted black by the Rolling Stones with that like, Quicksilver scene.
Which is very reminiscent of Quicksilver scenes in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
And they're both good, and they're like, hey, let's do that. And so it's Painted Black by the Rolling Stones, which is what was used in the preview for this movie.
Yeah.
Which fits so well. It's so cool. Oh, gosh.
But the post-credit scene of this movie.
I guessed it. I
think a lot of people did, but seeing it.
Okay.
But so this is a post-credit scene. Pretty much everybody was guessing,
but
it still happened. Henry Cavill returns as Superman,
and it's got Christopher Reeves.
It's got an altered version of Christopher Reeves.
It's got a slowed down version of Christopher Reeves' Superman theme song. And they gave him the little curl in his hair. His suit is so much better, thank God.
Because it has color. The
one in Man of Steel, I like the Man of Steel movie. It's a little bit slow for me, but the main gripe I have with it is it's colorless. Yeah, it's like Thor: The Dark World for me when it comes to like that color palette. Yeah. Because like in the comics, dude, it's bright yellow, bright red, bright blue, and the Christopher Reeve movies. And the Christopher Reeve movie, and they fixed it. Thank God.
Yeah. Like I love Man of Steel, but that movie could have used more color. So seeing this suit where it's a lot more colorful, and just seeing Henry Cavill back,
Cavill without a CGI'd off mustache.
But because this is the first time we've seen him in a live action live action movie as Superman since 2017 Justice League, and that's kind of.
I think by the time he's done, he's going to be seen as the best Superman.
I hope so, because he's my favorite Superman.
He's not the best Clark Kent, but he's a fantastic Superman. Yeah, because his Clark Kent acts very similar to his Superman. And you can't exactly help how he looks because Henry Cavill is just that swole. Henry Cavill looks like literally exactly like you would expect Superman to look.
That's why I like him so much. I look at him, I see Superman. I'm not that big of a Superman fan compared to like my brother, my dad, you. But
Superman is my favorite hero.
Because me and my dad, Luke too.
Superman's my favorite hero. I know the most about him. Absolutely.
Yeah. So seeing him again, like just. Again, not being the biggest Superman fan, not saying I don't like him, he's still one of my top 10 favorite superheroes, but like, as somebody who likes like The Flash.
He's the greatest superhero of all time. The only one that's close to Batman.
I say Spider-Man's close, but I feel like that's the two most iconic.
As far as iconic and just important to like just superheroes in general.
Because he's the first. He's the first. The first to like put them on the map. Yeah. Seeing Superman again, I watched it with my dad, and my dad was out loud going, "Oh, did they do it?" And then when he showed up, when even I just got up, I was like, "Holy crap, they did it!"
My dad goes, "Oh my God." Oh my God. And then, so he shows up, and then you hear the French horns in the background doing the theme song, and he clapped. My dad doesn't, like, show emotion when he's, like, watching, like, a movie or something. He clapped. It was so good. It was amazing. Okay. Y'all can debate about this in the comments, too. Who wins? Black Adam or Superman?
Yeah, because we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. I can see it going either way.
Me and Luke had an argument about this.
Oh, I know. Because Luke will argue Superman
forever. Because the thing is, yes, Superman, Superman's stronger when it comes to like abilities and everything, but it's not fair because one of Superman's weaknesses is magic. Like the fight from the beginning is not fair because that's like where his power, that's where Black Adam's powers come from, is magic.
Yeah.
Like there's an animated movie where it takes both Shazam and Superman to beat Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So I say Black Adam, but I think it's close even with the disability.
I say it's very close. I really don't know if I could pick because it's way too close for me to tell.
Because they're both sick.
They're both sick, so I don't know if I could pick one. Yeah, and seeing Henry Cavill post saying just like, "Hey, I am officially back as Superman," meaning we could get where I think a Man of Steel 2 is in early development.
Please let that be good. Please let that be good.
It's so exciting, and I'm so happy he's
Give me
back.
a like.
Anyway, so overall score. So Jonah, you want to go first in your score?
Yeah, I'll go first. No, you go first.
I'll go first?
I've been waiting for this movie for years.
So me going first, I didn't have a lot of expectations going into this movie other than it was just going to be a fun action superhero movie. And I got what I wanted. Really good characters. Just overall, really enjoyable movie. And I think on the whole, it's not one of my favorite superhero movies.
You bitch.
But it's not one of my favorites. But I still think it's a lot of fun. I think on the whole, I am going to give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I was going to say I have a bat in my hand.
So do I. But yeah, I'm going to stick with an 8. It's really fun. A movie I've rewatched and I enjoyed it just as much, and I'll gladly rewatch it again.
You're going to not like me. You're going to not like me from the score. And no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I was about to say, if you give it like a 9 or something, I won't disagree. Because I know how you feel about this movie.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this movie for years. I feel about this movie how Dwayne Johnson feels about this movie. Every single time he posts on his Instagram.
I was about to say, Dwayne Johnson took how long? 6 years to make this movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
No, I was waiting for this movie for so long. I've always been a DC person. The music is, like, just absurd.
Unfair.
It's on my Spotify right now. My number is a 9. Yeah, I'm giving it a 9. Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.
I'm playing Retro Ball.
Logan, what are you gonna give it, even though you haven't seen it yet?
Retro Ball.
Retro Ball.
Retro Ball.
He's gonna give it a to be determined out of 10.
So that'll do it for our review of Black Adam. Be sure to stay tuned for the next review, which is going to be us going back to the MCU to finish that off with Black Widow. Yeah.
It's fine. It's just
Retro Ball. That's what I'm gonna be doing while we watch that movie.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. See you later, Webheads.
See you later, Retro Ball.
Retro Ball.